Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Arsenal Podcast, bringing you the best news coming out of Arsenal, and for all those of you listening who feel the need to follow a little bit of advice, do what City did and stay humble, yeah? I am your host, Josh Vince, and today we will be reviewing Arsenal's 5-1 victory over Man City at the Emirates on Sunday. And joining me today are the fantastic Jamie Patterson and Joshua Duncan. Jamie, how did you find the game, man?
I mean, the thing is, right, I mean, I saw the first goal and then I missed like the whole first half and then got back for like the second half. But I mean, the second half, wow. Really, I mean, once City kind of was like, okay, cool. They got the equaliser. Just snapped into gear. Straight away, snapped into gear. The rest is history. 5-1. I mean, just let's take a moment to like embrace that. 5-1. I really was not expecting to like win like that. But look, I'm not complaining.
I don't think any of us are going to be complaining. I'll speak to you a little bit later because, quite frankly, we all needed time to just compress the result and enjoy it in our own ways. I mean, Josh, did you see that scoreline coming?
Nah, not. Well, to tell you the truth, I saw that we probably were going to win the game from the get-go because we just were pressing them and they just kept making mistakes, and that's what led to the first goal. I've got to say, it was pretty poor City performance. You know, I mean, we played well, but they were shocking. If I was a City fan, I would not be happy. Yeah, I mean, if I went left all the way to Manchester, I went to Emirates to see that, I'd want a refund.
And it is a nightmare journey, I can tell you, honestly. Like Manchester down to London in a day it's not a short day. But anyway, I mean, we need to talk about the game because it was a historic victory. And as Josh said, the first goal came out of our high press. I mean, as much as we do slag him off a lot on our podcast, and we really do slag him off a lot, Kai Havertz pressing in the first couple of minutes was fantastic, and a absolute calamity at the back from Manchester City gifted him the ball and he laid it off to Ødegaard. Jamie, I mean, the high press from those two in particular was, I thought, throughout the game, really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we kind of knew, like, I think Arteta must have said to them just minutes before the game, look, they're not the same City and we need to go at them. And I think for Ødegaard and for Havertz, that was just their time to be like, right, you know what, we're gonna just go from the high press and just hope that we'll be rewarded one way or another. And thankfully, we were rewarded.
We were. I mean, the goal came after 2 minutes, and then there was a bit of a lull. Let's be honest, Josh, a lull which lasted, I'd say, 40 odd minutes, and throughout that period, I was quite concerned because it's the sort of game, it's a little bit like Chelsea the week before against City. They got ahead early, they had a lull, they let City back into the game, and then City came on to win it. Obviously, Raya had a brilliant save from a headed effort in the first half, outstanding save, but inevitably Haaland did score. Like, what did you make of City coming back into the game, and in particular those two moments?
They did have their chances. I think there was one beforehand as well. Haaland, I think that was a rare save. They had their chances, but I think with Arsenal, I think they kept them messing about really when it comes to finishing. And hence why we kind of need a number 9. Even when they got back into the game, I wasn't really worried. I thought we played well. I think we will get chances, and rest is history. 5-1 and Emirates is a brilliant day for us.
It certainly was. And I mean, he's not everybody's cup of tea, and there are certain things potentially against him, but somebody did turn around and get us back into the game within 2 minutes of Haaland getting that equal. But I do have to say, the equaliser was really good equaliser as well. I thought the ball from Savinho in particular, the way that he'd managed to dig it out and get it up to Haaland was phenomenal. So, fair, it was a good goal. But then Partey, Jamie, turned around and, I mean, how many times do we see him shoot from distance and it not come off?
I've said it before. I mean, Partey from distance, just he knows what to do. And I mean, Look, I know a lot of people will sit here and be like, "Oh, but it deflected off John Stones." But so what? You know, at the end of the day, what a strike! I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think it was going to go on target anyway. Let's be honest. Even if there was a save from Ortega, the shot would have been registered on target anyway. But I mean, once that second goal really went in, you could sense a real get together, a real collective. Like the atmosphere went from here to like here within. What was it? What was like the timings between the two
I think
goals?
it was 38 seconds.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
For listeners, Jamie is currently watching the Chelsea West Ham game, so
It is 1-0 West Ham.
You might hear. Sorry, West Ham are
It's
winning.
1-0 West Ham.
Excellent. I mean, speaking of a deflection off of John Stones and Ortega not doing very well, there was a beautiful moment that came not soon after, Josh. Miles Lewis-Skelly running through on goal, getting a shot off, a bit of a deflection off John Stones. Ortega gets a hand to it, probably should have done better. But MLS's goal for Arsenal, I mean, I personally, that was probably my favourite one of the bunch, primarily for his celebration.
Yeah, I think the celebration kind of says it all. You know, I think the commentator, I think was it Peter Taylor? I think it was
Peter Jury.
Peter Jury, yeah.
Yeah, Peter Jury. Yeah, he goes, the boy became a man. And, you know, and I've always said these derby games, well, not really derby games, rival games, you know, we need men in front of the games, you know, we need our stars to turn up. And you know, the boy did, you know, I mean, tremendous goal. Yeah, the keeper should have done a bit better. Should have, I think he should have saved it, really. But, you know what, I'll take every day of the week, you know what I mean? You know, good for him, get his first goal at home, and the celebration kind of rubs salt in the wounds for them City fans, you know?
It does. I mean, Haaland definitely knows who he is now. That's for sure.
You know what? I was just thinking that. Yeah, exactly 100%. Thinking that.
And then, Jamie, I mean, earlier in the game, Havertz had an incredible chance to put the ball away and managed to drag it wide. And I'll be honest, when that happened, our group chat blew up in anger. It's just like, I think Rodney was saying that he was absolutely done with Havertz now. He'd had enough. But, Jamie, he turned around and after a brilliant Martinelli run, he scored what could be arguably an even harder goal.
I mean, do you know what? The one thing I really liked was just the fact that he cut in and just gave himself a bit of a good glimmer of goal. Because, I mean, once he managed to shift the ball past Akanji, I mean, Akanji's like had a horrible game. And I mean, for Havertz to go and do that and score, I mean, kind of, again, boosts his confidence in a way. Because I think for Havertz, he just needs a goal. He needs a goal just to kind of boost his confidence. And the fact it's come against a team like City, yes, I know City have not been great, but the fact that it came against City should hopefully try and boost his confidence. I mean, we're currently recording this on deadline day, and let's be honest, guys, we're not signing anyone.
Are we? It's not
we're not signing anyone. So, JD, I'm sorry, man, but I feel your pain. I really feel your pain, and like we're gonna have to just kind of hold out with Kai. But I
will say it sounded like the loudest celebration for the goal. It's like the roof came off the Emirates when he put that away.
Yeah, I think it's relief for him, and I think it's good knowing that the fan base is still putting that trust in him because you know. He's been playing week in, week out. Some of the fan base,
Josh. Some of them.
Look, JD, I feel your pain. I really do feel it. Like at the end of the day, he has not been up to standards, and you know, at the minute we are. The thing is, we've been struggling, and you know, for Havertz now, I just hope this might be a sign that hopefully he can go on a run. But again, I'm not asking. For JD's sake and for also my sake as well, I'm not asking a lot of him to be fair.
No, exactly. I mean, like, he can do what he can do, and if he can just keep pushing, then great for him. The only other big thing to say, really, was the fifth goal came after, Josh, 36 passes, which culminated in a cross-field ball from Rice, which was an absolute peach of a ball, and then Nwaneri decided to finish his full transformation and go Super Saiyan into Saka mode and put the ball away in pure Saka fashion. This boy is turning into Saka 0.2.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite goal, you know, because it was just done so early. Like, he ran at the guy, took the shot on, saw the bottom, put it in the bottom corner. You know, I mean, yeah, proper Saka goal, Saka 2.0. Yeah, you know, I don't want to put too much pressure on these young guys. They're still young. You know, I don't want anyone to get carried away. It was a good performance, but you know, we've got 14 more games. I think if we win, it's very unlikely, but if we win the rest of the 14 games, I think we probably win the league. You know,
You reckon Liverpool might slip?
yeah, I think they'll slip. You know, I mean, considering we still have to play them as well.
That's
it's
a
pretty
massive
much
game now, isn't it? At
Yeah.
Anfield as well.
And it's Anfield.
I think Everton might do. That's their game in hand. I think hopefully they can get down to a 0-0 draw. Maybe David Moyes can do something there.
Do you know what? I mean, it's the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park.
Yeah,
Everton have to do something.
yeah. I think it will be a tougher game now than you'd probably think when a couple of months ago
when Dyche was there.
Yeah,
100%.
I think you look at Everton's home form, and it is pretty impressive now since Moyes has come in. I mean, Moyes has got that team playing the way he wants them to play, and I think at the minute, I mean, would not surprise me if Everton were to go and upset Liverpool.
No, he's got them scoring goals, for goodness sake. That's a miracle, frankly, from Everton. But anyway, that's enough of the detailed, point by point of the game. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some analysis behind the game, talking about the youngsters, talking about if we need to be against the wall to perform well, and also whether this is now a big derby, Arsenal City. So we'll be back just after this message from Zencastr. Here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spend a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr. And welcome back to the Daily Arsenal podcast. We're reflecting on our humble victory against Manchester City. And we talked a little bit about the events in the game. But Josh, I kind of want to come back to something you said just a moment ago. One of the points I wanted to bring up was Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri currently are probably two of the best performing players in the squad at the moment. It could be argued, especially I think MLS. He's been phenomenal. Obviously, we don't want to put too much pressure on them and we don't want to work them too hard when they're young, but are they currently in the position where they could keep other players out? I mean, he started ahead against City of Ricardo Calafiori MLS. Is Arteta is he giving himself a little bit of a dilemma here?
I think it's a good dilemma, if anything. And you always want to see players competing and, fighting for places. I think MLS, he kind of does deserve it. I think this whole season, a breakthrough season as it is, he's been tremendous. I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. He's been good on the ball. He's been good defensively. And personally, I kind of prefer him more than Calafiori, to be fair, my personal opinion.
Okay.
So I think he deserved to start. I think Nwaneri, he's a bit more fortunate because we've got an injury crisis, and he's happened to have his chance, and he's taken his chance, and that's what you want to see from not just young players, but any player really. You come into the team and you give it your all, and you get the rewards on scoring a couple goals, getting a few assists, and I'm proud of both of them. I think they've done really well, put their heads down and quite on with it.
Because it feels like, from my perspective, the team sometimes, Arsenal, especially when it's sort of the slightly more mature players, like the mid-20s players, they can be a little bit, especially going forward, they can be a bit wary and a little bit sort of anxious about that final ball or running at their man or playing that final pass. I mean, we see Martinelli constantly recycling the ball. We even see it from Saka from time to time. Trossard's guilty of it too. Do you think their youth is giving them that advantage because they're not quite as scared of those sort of repercussions of losing the ball in those moments?
Yeah, I think they want to go out there and give it a go. Do you know what I mean? I think when you're young, you kind of want to impress, and you're more willing to take more chances. And you can see that, and from yesterday it paid off. We managed to get the win and score a couple of goals from it, and one got their first goal, and for Arsenal, and the other one scored a really nice goal. So let's keep it up. Let's not get ahead of ourselves like we do. I know young English talent, the media and us, we always gas them to the high heaven.
Yeah,
let's just calm it down. They've not had, when they do it consistently, then we can like Saka and the rest of the team. Then we can say, you know what, they're the real deal. But until now, they're doing well.
Yeah, and that's all we want, them to do well and keep developing. Jamie, something I've kind of noticed a little bit. Obviously, we're on a bit of a decent streak at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, the big results that we've had recently have been coming when we've got our backs against the wall a little bit, sort of against the big teams when we're in tricky situations. Are we one of those teams that kind of needs adversity to really bring the best out of us? And if so, is that going to become a problem, do you think, down the line?
To be honest with you, I could potentially see that as a problem, because the thing is, when you go into you go into a big game, you want to be hitting the ground running. It shouldn't be a thing of, right, well, you know what, we're just gonna see if we can get a kick up the backside first before then kind of sparking into life. It should I just don't think it should ever work like that. I just think at the end of the day, the city kick up the backside, I just thought to myself, it wasn't needed, because again, it kind of gave me a bit of a flashback to the City Chelsea game, and I'm like, oh well, okay, we've actually been playing some great football, but we've just not taken our chances.
Yeah.
And I think again, taking chances in the Premier League, you only get it once in a blue moon. So it's kind of like, well, look, we need to be taking our chances here, or else we're going to get punished for them.
Mm-hmm.
And, in a way, I think right now we need to kind of change that philosophy where we need to be just going on the front foot, and we just need to continue that momentum. Well, I don't want to be sitting here thinking, oh, okay, we've gone to Ipswich, and Ipswich have given us a kick up the backside. I don't want to go to every Premier League team and be like, going 1-0 down before then starting to get a spark back into the team.
I mean, because our next Prem games are Leicester away, West Ham at home, and Forest away. So apart from Forest, you'd sort of think they should be manageable games. But that's my only concern, is that sometimes when it has been sort of like the mid-table teams or the lower down the table teams, we've almost struggled more than the bigger sides, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I think the Leicester game, the Leicester game, not this weekend, but the following weekend, due to the FA Cup, that is going to be interesting, because again, we kind of, them kind of games, you really do want to hit the ground running, and you kind of want to stamp your authority early.
Yeah.
You don't want to be messing around. I mean, we look back at the reverse fixture at the Emirates, and I mean, that was a roller coaster of emotions. So fingers crossed we can go into this Leicester game, especially knowing that we've had a week off.
Yeah, it's massive.
We've had a week off. I mean, personally, I'd send the boys off to Dubai now.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
I'd get the boys on that plane to Dubai now, and fingers crossed, like, we get some warm weather training out there, and hopefully, we can go to Leicester knowing that we've had that week recovery, and fingers crossed we go get the win.
Yeah, sod it. Forfeit the Newcastle game, go out for 10 days, come back fresh and Dubai ready. Josh, the last point I want to talk about this game, we talked a lot about how good Arsenal were, and we were brilliant. City, as you said at the very start, were rubbish in this game, and their midfield composition confused the hell out of me. They went up against Ødegaard, Partey and Rice with Kovacic and Bernardo Silva as their midfield, and they just got completely swamped out. And Pep didn't really seem to have an answer, despite the fact he had the likes of Grealish, who can play a bit deeper if need be, but it's not suited to him. But you also got De Bruyne on there. Nunez could have come into that area as well. And it just felt like Arteta tactically outdid his old teacher.
Yeah. I was a bit confused with their lineup. I thought, maybe they're going to put Foden in that middle as well to kind of help out the numbers in the middle. But when obviously watching the game, they just didn't do that. I think Pep's known for sometimes being a bit too technical with certain things, and it backfires for him. But I think it's been all season now. I mean, okay, they haven't got Rodri; it's a big blow, but there's something not right there. I see. I don't want to get into his personal life. Maybe the divorce is getting to his head. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Shots fired on the Arsenal
I wasn't even
podcast.
trying to be. I was just trying to be supportive here.
Yeah.
I mean, losing half your net worth. I mean, I don't have a net worth to lose, so
That's
it's all
true,
right.
yeah.
For me.
I can't imagine it myself.
I mean, I've got more to gain in a marriage than to lose, so I don't mind getting married right now. But no, all jokes aside, maybe that's playing a toll on him. But there's something not right there. See, they just, I don't know. Tactically, they weren't great, and playing wise, forget tactical, just the players on the pitch, they were awful as well. Just simple mistakes they're just making. It's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, Stones definitely isn't fit, and he wasn't fit in that game. Like, you could tell 100%. He was miles off the ball, much to our advantage, obviously. But, Anyway, I think, do you know what? We've gloated a lot, and it's been delightful. But we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're just going to have a quick little scan over the other results of the week and see where it leaves us in this current setup in the Premier League. So we'll be back just after this message from the Global Sports Podcast Network.
This podcast is part of the Global Sports Podcast Network, the only network bringing you exclusive daily news and views on your Premier League team, the Premier League, women's football, and fantasy football. A unique listening experience that puts fans first, bringing you the very latest breaking news from your team. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and make us your first listen every day. Global Sports Podcast Network. Every club, every day.
And welcome back to the Daily Arsenal podcast. We've enjoyed looking back at our little 5-1 victory over Manchester City. I still can't get over 5-1. In the crossover, I said it'd be 1-0, and I didn't know who to. But in my head, I was actually thinking City were going to beat us 3-1. I don't know why. I just had a horror. So I'm glad that didn't turn out. Right, the other results around the Premier League, let's just skim past a couple quickly. Spurs won. Well, hey, well done, Spurs, finally. It's about time, frankly. About time. Ange managed to do a press conference while looking at the camera rather than looking at the floor. So fair play to him. Yeah, Liverpool won 2-0, whatever, The only thing that I'm thinking of about Liverpool is that I can triple captain Salah because he's got a double game week on fantasy football. I haven't triple
captained him.
Oh, Jamie, you fool, son!
I haven't. There's still more double game weeks to come up. So
I know. I had a feeling. So 2 goals, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Next up, Palace. Palace getting a result at Old Trafford. Again, a result that can bring a smile to everybody. Jamie, the worst team in Man United's history, as we well know. It looks like Rashford's left as well. Now he's gone to Aston Villa. I mean, the crumbling at Old Trafford never ceases to bring me joy.
No, it actually doesn't. And to be honest with you, I've got a family group chat with like my girlfriend and all her family, and we were just like bantering around on it. I mean, I can even read you some of the messages
from it.
Like we were saying, like for example, like Manchester must be like, how miserable must Manchester be after that?
I can tell you, Manchester's fine because all the Man United fans live in London. There's no Man U fans in Manchester, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and then there's beef stock, there's chicken stock, and then laughing stock, Man United.
I mean, it's true. It's hilarious to watch them.
Yeah, I mean, look, Palace right now are just they're good. They're starting to really build that momentum they had towards the end of last season, and I mean, it is looking very good for them. And I mean, for United, on the other hand, I mean, it just doesn't get any better, does it?
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. It's honestly, and Palace should be doing better as well. They got a good side. I mean, Oliver Glasner's a really good manager as well, and they should be. The start of their season was so peculiar. I was so surprised by how they started off.
Do you know what? I think looking at the start of their season, I mean, I know that Mateta was at the Olympics, and I mean, it would have been interesting to have seen maybe if Mateta was fully fit. If he had started from the offset first game of the season, might have been different. But again, Palace have brought in the likes of Lacroix, Kamada, etc. Daniel Munoz, who they've all been great. Maybe not so Kamada, but they've all been pretty great. And I mean, right now they're looking good. They are really looking good, especially Mateta right now. I mean, his goal scoring form. My girlfriend kind of mentioned it yesterday. She reckons that he's probably one of the most prolific, probably up there is one of the most informed strikers in the league. One of them.
He's up there, isn't he? I mean, he's such a brilliant finisher. He really is. In other news as well from around, Southampton won a game.
Can't believe that.
Wow.
I know. They're on, get this right, they're on 9 points, boys.
Wow.
They're on 9
1
points.
point off double figures.
They're 1 point off double figures and 2 points off of matching Derby County. That's the worst points tally ever. So well done, Southampton. Very happy for you. Gutted for Ipswich, though. Fulham got a good result at St James's Park, winning 2-1. Newcastle very in and out at the moment. Wolves surprising Aston Villa 2-0. But the game that really caught me off guard, Josh, going from sort of one up-and-coming manager to another.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm just looking at the number now on my screen, and it just baffles. So he came from Sao Paulo to Brighton, and there were such high hopes for him. But Forest kind of dashed those in their 7-0 drubbing of Brighton Hove Albion. Your boy, Chris Wood. I mean,
wow.
Forest. How do you make sense of what Forest have done this season, Josh?
They've got a brilliant manager. You know, it's all on him. I mean, have you seen them play football this season? I look forward to their games.
They're great.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Football. You know, it's really entertaining. Yeah, like 7-0. I watched a bit of the game. I saw the first goal, and then I had to do some stuff. And then you just saw it on social media, waiting for a bus. I was like, what, 7-0? I was like, bloody yeah, mate, 7-0. I was like, what? Should have stayed up and watched it. I was just like, and Brighton are a decent team, on their day, they can pretty much not beat everyone, but they're pretty solid. So I was a bit baffled that one, but fair play to Forest.
I was kind of in the same boat as you. I was like, I could watch the game, but then again, it's Brighton, it's Forest. It'll probably be quite cagey, quite close. I'm not sure I can be asked. And like you, just checked my phone forgot the game had been on. Checked it 3:00 to see the kickoff. So it's just like, what? 7? When? It was incredible. I mean, that also brings us to the table. I mean, Southampton's still very much bottom. Wolves have climbed out of the relegation zone. Jamie, your bet's not looking as good now, man.
I don't know, man. I mean, I still reckon they'll go down. I mean, they're only they're 2 points off. 2 points off Leicester at the minute, but
yes,
Leicester go down. It's staying how it is.
I have a horrible. I'd love to see Ipswich stay in the league.
I think Ipswich
they
staying up.
And then Everton. I mean, Everton are pulling clear now. They're 7 points ahead of Wolves. They're 9 points out of the drop zone. Like David Moyes is doing wonders, as you said, Josh. Spurs and United still languishing in the bottom half of the table. The victory for Spurs only got them up to 40.
Actually, they remain 15th.
Oh, because West Ham are winning.
Yep. At the minute, West Ham are winning. They are, yes.
Oh, come on, West Ham. Finish the job for us.
Speak.
And then when we look at the top 5, Liverpool 6 points ahead. Obviously, the game in hand. Josh, you said it earlier. You reckon it's time for Everton to do one on them?
Well, yeah, like what Jamie said as well. The last game, I think you said it as well. The last game at Goodison Park, I mean, I think with David Moyes, even though, again, don't get me wrong, the football he plays is pretty boring, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's nothing
watching his game. Yeah, watching his game. It's not a game you want to watch.
No.
But you have to understand you're Everton. You're not challenging for Champions Leagues now, are you? You're not challenging for 4th. You're just, you're a stable team to stay in the league, and that's about it. And that's what David Moyes can do. He's a steady pair of hands. You don't get them to play attractive football. You get them to try and win your game. Do
you know what? Actually, you're right. In the last 3 games, there are 2 teams who have won the last 3 games: Liverpool and Everton.
Yeah,
they're the 2 teams on the best form in the last 3, and coming up in a clash, I might have to take time out of my day and watch that game. I think it could be a cracking one. Obviously, we're in second now with 50 points. We're 3 ahead of Nottingham Forest, which is lovely. We're 9 points clear of Man City. 9 points clear of Man City. Who would have thought that at the start of the season? What a beautiful stat. City and United are actually tied on 41 points and 13 goal difference. It's just that City have scored 6 more goals. Then we come to Chelsea, and Chelsea are just a laughing stock, I think.
Yeah.
So that is where the Premier League sits for now. That's it from today's episode. We'll be coming to you tomorrow with a slightly shorter episode because a couple of us are going to stay up tonight until the transfer deadline day slams shut, and we're going to record immediately after it with our reactions on the final deals of the day. And if Arsenal sneaks something under our noses, which we don't think is going to happen, if they do,
I feel like there's more chances of any of us winning the lottery at this point than Arsenal doing a last-minute deadline day signing.
I told you guys. I said we're not bringing anybody in. I know Arsenal. We're not bringing nobody in.
Hold on a minute. Don't aim this at me. I mean, I said that. I also said the same as well. So
I might have done a solo podcast when I said we should buy Bradley Barcola. but on that note, Jamie, I'm going to go out and buy a lottery ticket, and we're going to call this to a close. So thank you very much for listening. I was your host, Josh Vince. With me today, Jamie Patterson and Joshua Duncan. As always, thank you very much for listening. Make sure you subscribe wherever you can. You follow us wherever you can, and listen in tomorrow for our thoughts on the transfer window. But until then, have a great day and stay humble. Goodbye.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.